If you've watched my last two videos, you'll know that I've been experimenting with some game dev podcasting, which is very big right now in the year of 2025. We've got Thomas Stewart and Thomas Brush and a bunch of other game devs who are basically interviewing their friends and bigger people too about game development. And I've been trying to do this for a little while. Very early on when YouTube was kind of picking up for me, I did some stuff with Sam Yam and Thomas Stewart. Those are really fun. And then previously I've just uploaded my mini-series, I guess I'll call it now, of Backlog Banter, where I interview different devs ranging from solo devs to people working in remote teams to even a musician who's kind of working in games to get the different insights and opinion on things. Like that's all fun, cool stuff. But when I started posting those Backlog Banter episodes, I got people reaching out to me saying, basically, hey, my thing's called Backlog Banter, you should change yours. And so I had to make the tough decision to actually rebrand, but it gave me an opportunity because I realized that this channel is not made for those videos. This channel is made for me and my experience as a game developer and kind of my personal experiences and thought process. And so that's what it's going to stay as, which is exciting because it means I've actually started a new channel. And I've pivoted a little bit too. It's still game development related and it's still very much a vodcast or a podcast, whatever you want to call it, but it's called the Playtest Panel. You can follow along right here. I've started with two of my friends, Andrew and Blake, who are both indie game devs. Blake is a solo dev who does lots of PS1 horror games, and Andrew is someone who is part of Suspicious Jam, which is a small game studio here in Victoria, Australia. And we've already started doing episodes, which is really fun, and the plan is to basically do those every single week. So if you follow along, subscribe, every single week you will get a new episode, and that's something I can promise to you. That's what I plan on doing moving forward, no matter what, whether I'm studying or working or whatever, we'll always have videos there for you ready to go. The difference between this one and I guess other indie dev podcasts, because there are so many, is that this one is, as it says in the title, it's a panel. So it's myself, Blake and Andrew on the panel, and we'll have different guests appear in future episodes where developers can basically bring their game, we can play their game, and then they can give us insights and kind of share their experiences of working on the game as we're showing you it at the same time, which I think kind of causes a bit of a different dynamic. We did it with one of Blake's games. He did a PS1 horror game for a game jam, and that's a really fun episode. If that interests you, then please go ahead, follow along. That's really exciting. And I wanted to tell those maybe who had seen some Backlog Banter episodes and were like, I like this format, or I like longer form videos of Nathan just talking to people. That's where you go, and that's gonna stay as it is and grow and develop on its own. And so aside from that, for those who don't know, I've started a Bachelor of Computer Science. I've finished my first semester, and the past 2 months I've been on break, doing all this Backlog Banter stuff, figuring out YouTube, game dev, and getting ready for semester 2. Had to do some exams as well for the last semester, a whole bunch of different things. But now that we're going on to semester 2, I want to change my priorities a little bit from what I learned in the first semester, because the grades were all right for the most part, but there were a few things that were lacking purely because I couldn't give myself enough time, and it ramped up. So I want that little part in semester 2 before it ramps up to kind of get ahead of things, to get better grades and have better knowledge. Really, that's the main thing, is to make sure I'm actually remembering the things I'm learning. Otherwise, what's the point, When semester 2 starts, which hopefully would have happened by the time you see this video, I want there to be more focus on my study than there are editing videos. So for the main channel, I reckon as a viewer or subscriber, you should expect maybe one video a month. It's one that I hope will perform well, and it's going to be on a topic that I'm interested in. So for example, the Linux video I did, that was a video that I was interested in learning about my experience in Linux and kind of giving you guys my foresights and an honest first opinion on, as a game dev and a content creator, what it's like working within Linux and Ubuntu. And the outpour of information that I received in that video, I will have to do several parts when I have the time to, do it, basically, because doing that sort of thing takes time. But yeah, for the channel here, you're not going to see very frequent uploading, but the uploading will be hopefully of decent quality and relevant to you if you like me and my work and game development, because that's what I'm all about. At the end of the day, I will die happy knowing that I spent my life working hard trying to make video games. Like that's it, that's me. And part of this degree is so that I'll have more opportunities in the future to make games in places that I wouldn't otherwise without it. Of course, my main focus is going to be my studies. Second focus is to get weekly uploads for the playtest panel for all of you to watch and enjoy. And kind of my primary focus, you know, aside from those two things, because those things are very much schedule based. Like, you're gonna make sure I get a video done or filmed Thursday night so I can edit it and have it out on Friday. University is the same thing. You have deadlines and you can't do that. But every other little spare trinkly moment, whether it's my commutes to and from school, or free moments on my days off or weekend, is gonna be around Loco, which, again, for those who don't know, is my Unreal Engine project. I'm making a cozy cafe game. It's come a long way in terms of the last playtest I did, and it's gotten to a point now where I want to get it finished as almost a vertical slice or a demo, so I can start taking it to game dev meetups. Each month we have a game dev meetup in Melbourne, organised by IGDAM, which is the International Game Developers Association Melbourne, where they showcase games and I get to hang out with the devs. And so my personal goal right now is to work towards a playable demo that I can take to those events to get feedback from actual game developers. And then my second goal is to take it to TGX next year. So TGX is the Game Expo. Again, it's also Melbourne in Australia. I'm sorry, this is where I live. So for all you internationals, I've done videos in the past. I did one here where I interviewed other game devs, and I really want to take Loco here because it's a pretty big expo. Each year I feel like it gets bigger and bigger, and it's pretty affordable to showcase your game there. And I've had friends who've gone there before, and I think it's a good one to go to. Like, I would love to go to PAX, but it's like $2.5 grand, and right now I'm not employed. I'm a student, so I don't really have that money laying around to take to an expo. When I'm not studying, when Playtest panel isn't being worked on, and when Loco I either need a break from or waiting on stuff, I will be posting videos on here about my experiences as a solo game dev, whether it's a design thing Loco has brought up to me, talking about new Unreal Engine features, or any other thing that I find relevant and important to talk about, I'll do here, because this is my channel, and kind of my thoughts and insights get posted here, and that's kind of what the channel's for. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the plans of the future, because I've always wanted to make games, and I've always wanted to work in games full time. And I think I found the direction I want to go, as well as the types of games I want to make. Once Loco is finished, I'll talk more about that. For now, we're just trying to focus on that project and get that done. But I want to make games full time in the future. That's what my goal is. I want to be able to afford a home and raise a family and do all those other things that we find primal in, you know, for me at least as a man. Like, I want to be able to provide for my wife. I want to be able to have kids and raise them, take them to school, pay for karate lessons, you know, all the stuff that comes in with life. And I know those aren't easy things to do, especially if you are working in games independently. I know what I'm up against, right? Like, I know people are basically like, if you want money, just don't make games. Just don't do it, because the risk is too high. But I do want to make games. Even if I end up working full time, I will always be making games no matter what. But I've seen a big change in terms of the way games are made and the type of games and the structure around companies making games really interesting recently. We've seen big changes in terms of like government regulations, even with like the MasterCard, PayPal, Visa thing, not PayPal, sorry, Visa, you know, all the stuff with the not safe for work games and kind of turmoil around that. We've seen things like, for example, with Helldivers and PlayStation with the EOLA agreements, stuff like that, where it's just like, okay, there are these giant corporations and bodies that are basically telling people how and what to consume and restricting and taking away liberties in a way to players, which I'm not a massive fan on. That's a bigger topic for later, but it's just something like I see how would myself as a solo developer want to produce games for you all to play. Because at the end of the day, that's what I want. I want to make art, and I want people to be able to experience that art and enjoy it. And so, you know, I don't want any of my games to be behind like a DRM service. I don't want publishers to restrict it so you can't buy it on certain platforms. You know, console exclusivity is basically going away anyways. But I don't want any dumb launches and stuff unless if it's really important, right? I don't want to inconvenience people, and I also want my games to last. The whole thing about games as a service and kind of preserving games around that, I also find really important. And so I know right now I'm working in Unreal, and I probably will continue to work in Unreal, but the long-term project is to basically make my own game engine where no matter what happens, right, I can always publish the platforms I want and develop on the platforms that I want. Right now, I just don't have the time and resources for that, so I want to get games out the door so people can understand what they're investing in. If they make a game, they can kind of figure out, okay, this is what the games Nathan makes. From the return on that, invested in the technology so that, in 10, 20, 50 years time, it doesn't matter where we are in terms of technology, I will have the source code to produce the games that I've made on whatever platforms that I want and can. I don't want to be restricted because Unreal Engine, Epic Games restricts a policy or an agreement for some reason, like it did with Unity, which they very well could in the future. There are so many big signs sometimes of things being like, the tables can turn very quickly. So like looking at the future, how I want to be established as a solo developer, and kind of the dream I have and what I want to achieve, like there are certain things that we need to move that way. And look, I've made ways for that to be possible. I've got memberships here on YouTube, which those who contribute, thank you so much. Like your donations have literally gone to paying for things on this channel. Quality of this channel has only improved because of you. Because of what you've contributed. This camera I'm filming on is because of you. And so I kind of want to extend that support, but also be brutally honest about it. On my channel, previously I had kind of tiers and different rewards based on those tiers. I'm removing that entirely. Basically, if you want to give me money, there's a means to give me money on YouTube, and if you want with that, you also get cute emotes when I live stream, or little icons on your comment chat names. That's what you get, and you can choose to pledge a certain amount and have that recurring. Just know all that money goes towards the channel and me as a creator and a business. I'm also extending that now more to Patreon as well. I don't expect a bunch of people to support me or whatever, but it's more giving you the ability to support a creator. And for me to be like brutally honest with you, I'm not promising anything. Basically, your contributions go to helping me make games. And I give you my values of what I want to produce, and that is, games that are short and easy to play. I'm not going to make a giant Ubisoft game with a billion achievements. I'm going to create, in today's standard, a short, concise, polished story. There's so many games that are so long that I've never finished because of how long they are. I want people to be able to finish my games and enjoy the full experience. So when I say short games, I'm not saying 5-minute games. I'm talking about games that are between 2 to 8 hours long. Like I said before, I don't want it to be enclosed upon any sort of DRM or to lock you into any crazy EOLA contracts. And the other thing with my games is that I want them to have hope in them, a message of hope. For those who have seen the new Superman, people are raving about it because simply it gives them a message of hope. You can have different opinions on what you think is a good Superman movie, but I think we can all agree that we need more messages of hope in this world. I'm sick of these grey, dark stories that are so depressing when in reality, hope is a real thing that we can, push towards in humanity. And so I want my games, although they might have different themes and kind of different messages in them, at the end of the day to be a hopeful message and something that people can walk away feeling better about themselves than they did when they first picked up the controller. So that's why I'm kind of rearranging the structure of things. It's also, to be really honest with you, that I feel bad when I don't upload exclusive videos for members, or I'm not giving you guys the correct perks. I basically just want to say, hey, if you like what I do and you want to throw me some money, this is something that creators can actually use to project if they can survive the long run. What I've learned recently is when you publish a game, you basically get a big spike in revenue, and then it jumps off a cliff and you've got nothing, and that revenue is basically your runway until the next game. Things like YouTube members and Patreon will allow me to actually forecast how long I can work on my games for and give me the ability to do things that I wouldn't be able to otherwise. This is very hard to do now because of how many creators are out there and how long-winded this video is and how much I'm rambling and just trying to tell you all that like I love making games and I want to make stuff that is impactful, but you know, it's all just talk until I prove it to you. And so I'm just saying to you now, if you've loved my work so far or you like what I'm pitching to you, then this is kind of the way to invest and be sure that, you know, you can get my game. And look, maybe when my game comes out and I've seen that you guys have supported me long enough, more than, you know, the average price of the game, I'll probably happily give you all keys because you're the things that pay the bills and allow me to do cool things like this, which, you know, like leaves me speechless, to be completely honest with you. I just wanted to summarize the key points is to go to the playtest panel channel and subscribe and watch the weekly uploads we'll do. I can promise you that you'll always get videos there, which is great. My main priority in life right now is to graduate, so that will come first. If I'm AFK or seem to be falling off the face of the earth, it's probably because an assignment's due and I'm focusing on that. Thirdly is Loco and getting that out the door and finished. And by you all contributing, whether it's to YouTube members or to Patreon or just watching videos, even if you're like a YouTube Red or whatever they call it now, premium member, like your views, very good, keep watching, thank you. Because all of it goes into my dream of making a game studio. I hope one day I can, you know, either buy or lease out a space where I can just sit and make games and make videos and live stream and do this full time and just share with you all the awesome things about making games. I'm really excited with Loco and seeing where it goes, but I'm also excited about the future projects that I have not in the works, but I'm very excited to reveal to you at some point. But not yet, don't mention it. Loco is the most important thing right now. But yeah, that's basically it. If you're new to this channel and you have no idea who I am, just hit subscribe and then you'll just get notified of videos that get published and stuff. So yeah, my name's Nathan. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you in the next video.